training cycle. I would like to discuss about my current one, reason behind it, and how it is helping me. It's called time under tension. Training cycle and why do I do it? It is simply one aspect of training which will be the base for every exercise, generally 8 to 12 weeks, but could be earlier or later depending upon the conditioning. So today is leg day, started with hamstring curl. So every rep will be focused, slow movement, followed by a hold at the extreme flexion and extension. This gives the muscles a new stimulus before it completely adapts again, keeps the training fresh and challenges the muscle in a different way. So the number of reps or the sets, I generally don't count it. Aim is to let the muscle decide. When you perform time under tension, aim is not to lift as heavy as possible, but you still go up in each set as long as I don't cheat during the repetitions. I feel the burn with every rep and hold. It also tests my endurance while keeping the performance as neat as possible. So generally, I would start with a relatively lower weight. It helps as a warm-up, but also helps in keeping the ideal exercise performance and allows to get the maximum benefit whilst keeping the joint safe. Like in here, I'm giving full time under tension on extension, holding it up to the maximum. My muscles gets fully activated, so does the joint, and I can feel the pump right in the warm-up set itself. Another thing, even though the weight is low, it allows the brain to focus on the exercise so that it maintains the time and attention to get the feel rather than just leave it. I find this phase of my training cycle is the only phase where even the low weight feels like a working set rather than a warm-up set. And soon I feel I am not counting my repetitions, but just focusing on my muscle group and the hold at the full extension, which together help me decide the number of repetitions I must do to complete that set. So you can see this is my second set of the leg extension. I have hardly managed to go heavy on the plate. This is roughly 3 or 4 plates. The reason is I am already pumped, my quads feels full, and my brain is completely wired in to get a clean, proper, as perfect repetition as possible. With every repetition, you feel a different pump, a slightly nice soreness, which allows you to hit and go to the extra mile to near failure. I think this is very important, as the time that you spend in the gym is precious, and an hour spent is certainly worth it when you're walking out of the gym feeling content. This is my final set, and I have dared to go further heavy, but I am very conscious. Every repetition has to be as planned and focused. This allows you to give your best at the same time, because knee extension creates extreme pressure on the knee joint while working out the quads. And as this is a heavy set, I allow myself at the end of this repetition to let go and reset and start again. As this is the final set, a momentary reset at the beginning of the repetition gives me a momentarily breathing space to perform the set in full capacity. In my to-do training list, calf probably sits on the top of that list. For me, calves are one of the hardest muscles to develop as they are already used to working, so they often need focused quality training to keep progressing. During this training phase, I'm slowly bringing my calf down. Instead of simply moving the weight, I'm trying to keep the constant tension on the calf muscles from the deepest stretch right through to the strongest contraction. Time under tension forces me to stay in control and reduces the temptation to bounce through the movement. It also increases my awareness of the muscle working and to get more out of every repetition. This is one exercise which is needed for lower muscular balance, supporting the ankle and knees during walking, running, squatting. And also, for example, now I have increased the weight, my movement becomes more mind-muscle connected as I have to keep the calf working under continuous load. I think it creates a challenging stimulus without always needing very, very heavy weight. Again, my goal isn't simply to lift the weight, it is to make the calf work for every centimeter of the movement, if that makes sense. I try to challenge myself by going quite heavy on the calf, and I could feel I was struggling to maintain the full, complete up and down movement, and this is exactly the repetition I've been trying to avoid in this phase of my training cycle. I must say, I was also in those groups where I thought the leg exercise day would consist mainly of squat, and I particularly avoided the abductor and adductor machines. Nevertheless, I've learned my lesson. One need to have strong abductors to create stable hips, and that will help to create a stronger lifts. I'm using the pads here. This helps me with the full range of movements, and also I'm able to spot myself in a better way, especially in this exercise. Again, the principle is the same. Hold it at the extremes as long as possible. Let the muscle feel the burn at your hips. In my next set, I've gone slightly heavier, and I like the use of pads here. It keeps my movement very controlled, balanced, allowing maximum hold as much as possible. I could definitely feel while performing this exercise that every rep is hitting where it should be focused, and definitely one of the best way to fire up your glutes and abductors. Probably this is my favorite exercise of my entire leg day session. Adductors aren't just the inner thigh muscles, they are powerful contributors to lower body strength too, and definitely improve like force production and stability and control in exercises like squats and leg presses. I feel these group of muscles are a must to be done before you start doing heavy exercises like squats. And as time goes and with repeated training of this adductor muscles. It helps vastly in contributing the shape of overall thigh muscle group. My focus is to hold on full adduction as long as possible. Let the muscles get activated and cooked while being under tension. It improves the strength, keeps the muscle under the continuous load rather than letting momentum take over. So this is my final set of this exercise. I've gone quite high up on the weight, at the same time with the aim to maintain the time under tension. For this, I'm using my hand to spot myself, as this isn't an exercise to rush. The longer I can keep the adductors under quality tension, the more productive the set feels. For me, what it means, even if I go higher up on the weight, the base quality of the given exercise must remain the same for that training cycle, and it's okay to self-spot or reset between reps. So this is my final set of the adductor exercise, and I've decided to go to the maximum. So with no compromise, I make sure I'm positioned perfectly, got my hand in a self-spotting position, maintain time under tension, and with that focus, let's see how many reps one can go. So the main idea is not to count the reps, but to make sure with the given load you completely justify that base training, which continues to give the new stimulus to the muscle. Finally, to the squatting rack. Generally, all my squats I perform is on the Smith machine rather than on the barbell, but I decided to give a go with the barbell. Even with just a barbell, the squatting movement with the hold at the bottom, but the aim is to not sit completely. That allows to keep your thigh and your hip muscles constantly under tension. And believe me, just the barbell weight soon feels very heavy, as the glutes and the thigh muscle feels completely pumped and fired. It also allows me to execute this compound muscles perfectly well. I would definitely recommend all my viewers who are in fitness and has been training for long to give it a go with this phase of your training cycle. I promise, even though it only looks that I have 5 kilo on each side, but to maintain that constant hold at the squatting position without completely sitting down and holding it there for as long as possible immediately gives a different stimulus feel to the quads and to the hips. I also feel that it improves the strength. As I near to the end of my leg session day, I can already feel a bit of wobbliness as I walk, as my legs are completely pumped up, and I'm finding it very challenging to hold and maintain the weight while maintaining the time under tension while I squat down completely. And I feel this is important because it challenges you. your muscle and also your mind to a different stimulus and condition, which conditions the body part as well as the mind, because when you slow every repetition down, even a light squat suddenly feels heavy because the muscles never get a chance to rest. Coming to the last exercise of the day, and if you have watched this whole workout, probably you will notice something. The low weight or the high increased weight doesn't matter as long as the intention remains the same. 2 plates on each side might not look impressive, but when every repetition is slowed down and when every centimeter is controlled, even a relatively lighter weight begins to feel surprisingly very heavy. And I feel that is the beauty of time and attention. The muscles never get a chance to switch off. And especially with this exercise and onto this machine, before stepping away, I like to finish with calf raises on the same machine. I keep reminding myself that the legs aren't just about quads and hamstrings. I think it's very important, as with any other group of muscles, while training for calf, we should aim to train using different machines and allowing lots of variations, because calf again is made of 2 groups of muscles, and to train them both needs different variations. And in this phase of my training cycle, it controls my temptation to just bounce up and down while performing this group of exercise. I've gone up on the weight while keeping the challenge and the technique exactly the same, because as the session is finishing and the load increases, it's so tempting to shorten the movement or speed it up. But that's exactly when I slow myself down even more. If I can't control the weight, then again I have used my hand to self-spot myself, but bring it down completely to flexion, give that hamstrings and the hip muscle the extra stimulus, as I still want the full stretch, not counting my repetition, only connecting with my muscles and the time and attention. Going straight to the calf raises, which is challenging because the weight has gone up. One thing I noticed, which I must say, always keep the handle locked in position, because it's very safe to maintain that just in case, and it will still allow to do the full range of movement with the calf muscles. This is the last exercise and the last set of the day. The plates have gone up to 4, and I will use my full concentration with mind-muscle connection. Use my hand to spot myself to bring it lower down, give a full stretch and allow my full stimulus to the thigh muscles. Take a little breather when I go up, make sure the knees are not locked in, and again lower it down. Use the hand to spot yourself, control the movement and push up again. Repeat the movement keep your breathing aligned. Take your time. Slowly bring it down. Hold it there and push up. This really tests your breathing capacity, your endurance, before you're ready for a superset with the calf muscles. As I said, I reminded myself to hold and lock in the handlebar. It allows me to position myself into more safe position. And you can see, and I felt that this was too heavy, so I let it go. So train, reflect, evolve. I'll see you soon.